The fall of Uganda's Minister for Internal Affairs dates way back before he was demoted from being an army commander to a Minister of Internal Affairs. His downfall started with the undertaking of Uganda to avail helicopter gunships in the theater operation in the war-torn country of Somalia as attack enablers. On August 14, 2012, was the beginning of a journey of his downfall when he flagged up 4 choppers at Entebbe Air Force Base. Little did he know, with the commander of the Air Force, Major General Jim Owes-Jire, that the defunct choppers were bound to crash. The ill-fated crafts, 3 that crashed were Mi-24 gunship. The 4th helicopter that landed safely was an Mi-17. Darkness started unfolding in his base when President Museveni ordered for an investigation to be led by his brother, a retired army general, in a sign of how serious Ugandan authorities were taking the loss of lives. Though some survived by a whisker. The conclusion of the report had several recommendations to the appointing authority. These included the sacking of the Air Force Commander, Major General Jim Owes-Jire, and the Air Force Chief of Staff, Brigadier Moses Raktarate. The sacking of the Army Commander could not take immediate effect for fear of causing an administrative crisis in the Army. But 2 months down the road, the President was left with no option but to sack the Army Commander, General Aranda Nyakairima, and transferred him to Ministry of Internal Affairs as a minister. However, during his acceptance speech, as he handed over office to the new Army Commander, General Edward Katumba Amala, he reminded his predecessor of the uphill task ahead of him.
To you, my successor, comrade in arms, today you officially take over. I do not have much to leave behind. I only leave behind a mountain for you to climb, and climb to the top. When you reach the top and you look down to the lowlands, you will be happy that the climb was worth undertaking.
To this point in time, neither Kenyan or no Ugandan authorities have explained why 3 of the 4 military helicopters making the trip crashed. Ugandan officials said preliminary information indicated that bad weather was responsible. Mount Kenya, Africa's 2nd highest peak, had been shrouded in clouds even as rescuers tried to locate the wreckage on the fateful Sunday's crashes. However, independent sources associate the craft to have been junk. The intention of supplying junk craft in an African Union mission and the United Nations that was supposed to hire their alleged junks remains a matter of concern that negotiators of the deal have not explained to the investigators. The other development that explains his downfall is the security dossier that was released by then the National Coordinator of Intelligence Agencies, General David Sejusa, pointing to a fact that he was among the army chiefs that had been lined up for assassination by members of the First Family and the IGP, General Kale Kaihura, inclusive, in the assassination plot. Those to be assassinated were General Aranda Nyakairima, former Prime Minister John Patrick Mbabazi, and General David Sejusa himself. Earlier, we had spoken to General David Sejusa on how he landed on the alleged information of assassinating top army chiefs and then Prime Minister of the time.
Do you stand by what you initially reported to Ugandans when you were leaving the country, which it seems to have been the basis upon which there was serious witch hunt of you in regard to saying that there were a plan to have you, Mr. Mbabazi, and General Aranda assassinated?
I don't think the problem was that. I think the problem was how it was handled. Because you see, there is nothing wrong with writing an internal memo as a head of an organization requiring a director general to investigate some of those things. These are things we always do. But these are confidential things which we write about them. There is no one above suspicion in the country by constitution. By constitution, it is the president who cannot commit treason, because he cannot commit treason against himself. Any other person can commit treason. Therefore, that brings in another point, that there can be all these plans. Therefore, as the coordinator of intelligence then, it was my duty, if anything comes to my knowledge. It would have been wrong for me if I went and addressed the press.
As to whether these and many more circumstances surrounding his alleged heart attack death leading him to his grave hold water, time will tell when government comes up with its post-mortem report. Timothy Sibasi, Vision, Kampala.